In this episode, it might be for buyers, could be for investors, might even be for sellers. We're going to talk about trying to time the real estate market. This is episode 40 of the Inside Real Estate Show. With me, Darin Persinger of Persinger Group Real Estate. Welcome to the Inside Real Estate Show. Big episode 40, number 40 here. And we're gonna be talking about trying to time the market, and I'm hearing about this a lot from buyers, sellers, and investors right now. Sellers are wondering, is this a good time to sell? Investors are wondering if it's still a good time to get in and get good investments. Buyers are going, well, prices are going up so fast, so quickly, maybe I missed the mark. Maybe it's bad timing if I buy right now. So we're going to cover that topic today in this episode. But first, let's talk about the number of the day.
What's the number? Stop, stop. What's the number? Stop, stop. What is the number? The number of the day.
18.2. The number of the day is 18.2. You want to just take a minute, think about what could be 18.2. I'll tell you this, it has to do with food. Specifically, eating out. The average American household eats out 18.2 times per month. Think about that. 18.2 times per month. Now, that's not more than 50% if we're considering there's 3 meals in a day. But think about what the average cost of eating out could be and how many times the average household is eating out, and just look at the expense of that. Not just the expense of money, but you're spending extra money. You're probably getting some extra calories into your diet because you're eating out. So I just found that number absolutely fascinating, that we eat out that much as a culture. But it makes a lot of sense because there's so many different types, even just fast food restaurants. I mean, you got like just Taco Bell, Taco Time, Chipotle, what's the other one? Qdoba, like so many different fast food, just Mexican restaurants. So keep that in mind the next time you're thinking about eating out or trying to maybe lose a little weight or save a little bit more money. 18.2 times per month. Let's do a little bit of housekeeping now.
Housekeeping?
Okay, since this episode is basically for everyone, I just want to remind you that if you're thinking about buying a home and you're just not sure where to start, I'd recommend this book that I wrote, and you can get yourself a copy of this book at homebuyingmadeeasybook.com. And if you're thinking about selling your home right now and you want to know what to expect when selling your home, you can head over to sellingyourhomebook.com and pick up a copy of this book that I wrote. Now let's get into the main topic, trying to time the real estate market. So maybe you're thinking about buying. Is it still a good time to buy because home prices are going up so quickly? You're thinking about selling. Maybe I need to get out because home prices are going up so quickly. Investors are going, maybe I should be investing or maybe I shouldn't because home prices are going up so quickly. You know, not everyone can be right, and the timing, is it the right time? Let me answer that question very directly and simply by stating this. On buying, investing in real estate, my philosophy is there's never a bad time to buy real estate. There's only bad times to sell it. Because we know over the period of time, the real estate market is always going to recover and it's always going to keep going up. So maybe you bought at a wrong time, but that's only if you decide to sell it at the wrong time. If you bought high and then you sell low, of course it was the wrong time, but you sold at the wrong time. If you would have held for another 2, 3, 5, 10 years, and then you sell it, Would you have bought at the wrong time because now you're selling at the right time? So my simple answer is there's never a bad time to buy, only a bad time to sell, and it's always dependent upon your unique, specific situation. There's so many variables involved. I cannot give you just a generic answer for everyone that watches the show or listens to the show that would make sense and be legitimate and that I would feel good about giving to everyone. But with that being said, I do want to share something I came across recently as I was just reviewing a book, The Millionaire Real Estate Investor, and I just thought that there was some interesting information in here about timing. And I think this book was written about 10 years ago or so, but there's still some universal truths and timeless truth in this book when it comes to trying to time the market. And I wanted to share that with you in this episode. So they're talking about it from the standpoint of investing. You could just replace timing of investing with buying or selling or whatever you're thinking about doing. And here's what Gary Keller, the author of this book, writes. Timing is one of the most misunderstood concepts in investing. When people say that timing is important, they are correct. Timing is not only important, it's critical to investment success. The economy is cyclical, markets are cyclical, and buying and selling opportunities are created by the ebb and flows of those cycles. So finding the best time to buy or sell is called timing. What is misunderstood is the way timing is actually accomplished. Okay, so side note, that's what's written. I'm just going to add my 2 cents. This is the part that I think is interesting because we think there's one specific time and that's called timing. But here's what Gary goes on to write. Most people think timing is about active observation, sitting on the sidelines, waiting for the moment when they should jump in and take action. It's passive and then an active approach. In other words, timing is about being reactive to opportunity. The truth, however, is that timing is all about being active all the time. I believe the vast majority of opportunities cannot be observed from the sidelines. You must be in the game. All right, so you can interpret that the way you want. You can go get this book, and he writes about this idea of timing on page 65 in the book called Millionaire Real Estate Investor. I'll just add my 2 cents. The way that I interpreted that is what he's saying is most people think timing is sitting on the sidelines watching the market and seeing it do something like this and going, okay, right there, that's the time I'm going to jump in. What I believe he's saying there is it's not something that you can observe from the sidelines. For example, some friends told us recently that they know of a personal friend of theirs that was working with a real estate agent, and they were kind of missing out on some properties, and the real estate agent they were working with said, you know, you should probably wait until 2018 to buy because I think the market's going to go down then. Why does that real estate agent think 2018 is the time to buy then if the market's going to go down then? Because I could go back to 2007, which was the peak of the real estate market, and then it went down. And home prices in our area went down in 2008, 2009, 2010, 2011, and then they started to recover. So if you're sitting on the outside, if you bought here in 2010, it'd really be no different than buying in 2012. So there's like a 2-year gap there where you could have bought maybe even lower. You can't try to time that because by the time you observe it, it's already moved. You never know what the bottom is or what the peak is, okay? I hope that makes sense. By the time you observe it from the outside and you see it going up, you already missed the bottom, right? So I believe that's what Gary is alluding to in that book, that you need to be in the market, actively engaged in it if you're thinking, if all those other variables match up for a good time to buy. You got your finances under control, your rent keeps going up, and so you don't want to deal with that anymore. You have a down payment, your credit score, whatever variables matter to you. And so just going back to to recap this, is now a good time? You only know if it's a good time for you, and you don't know until you get in and you're actively engaged in the process, in the house hunt, of seeing what's really going on in the market instead of just observing from the sideline and waiting for that market to pass you by, because you might be missing what actually is the best time for you to buy, sell, or invest. And always, I like to remind you that home is what you make it, so make it someplace you love.